So I'm going to add him to the stream here. There we
Cheers.
go. It's Josh in person, the Stoney Ridge Farmer. How you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. Just chilling out here on the couch, having a just got in from checking on the cows, and
Yeah.
life's good. Just got a shower. I was like, man, there's something I need to be doing tonight. What was it?
Well, I was just talking to everybody. I was like, man, I hope Stoney Ridge Farmer doesn't ghost me.
Yeah. I almost did.
We almost got ghosted by the Stoney Ridge Farmer. I built this all up, and everybody shows up, and we're like, "Oh, Rick, come on!
Yeah.
Where's Stoney at? Where's Josh?"
It got me. So how many folks you got tuned in on the live stream here?
We've got 38 right now. We were up to 41 at one point. Maybe somebody thought I was going to get ghosted, so they left. But I think we're bouncing around. We're back up to 42 now. So for me, that's a record.
Right on. Awesome.
Well, so
yeah.
Go ahead.
Get any questions? Do you have any questions, Ricky?
I've got plenty of questions. I came prepared.
Right on.
Some of them you might find a little silly, but that's all right. So we were just talking about maybe one of them. I'll just throw it out there. Well, first, I want to thank you for coming on. Actually, first, I've been harassing you for quite a bit. Well, for sure, quite a bit, and I really want to thank you for coming on. You didn't have to do this. You don't know me from Adam, right? And so I really appreciate it. So
no problem, man.
And I'm obviously would get way more out of this than you would get out of it. So I really thank you for doing that.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
So the first thing I had out there was I just, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about your channel? And some of the things I wanted to know about is like, why did you start your channel? I went back and looked in there, and it looks like you joined YouTube back, it looks like in 2015. And I went back and looked at your first video that I could find out there was a video of you teaching people how to sharpen the blades on a brush hog. I don't remember. Do you remember doing that one or not? Okay.
Yeah, that was my first one. I don't know why Google says it was 2015, but it was I guess it was 2017. It was 5 years ago this month.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah.
So how'd you get started? Why did you start the YouTube channel?
I decided one day I'd seen a lot of YouTube videos out there, and I had an idea probably 5 years before. I had an urban farm in the city, and that was doing pretty well, and I should have done that. I had all sorts of vermicompost and all sorts of crazy stuff set up, but
yeah, people would like it probably, right? Yeah.
We got moved in up here, and I should have documented the whole build of the house and all that stuff, but I didn't do that either. So then I finally made the time and broke out the camera and shot a video. And I emailed a guy. I emailed Wrangler Star about that time and left my phone number and asked him to call me and give me some tips.
Mm-hmm.
And dude called me. So
there you go.
Yeah. So he had about the same amount of subscribers that I have now. He just called me up and we talked for about 5 minutes, and that was it. So, yeah.
The rest is history, right?
Yeah, I just started making videos, and still working as a nurse in the hospital. And at the end of the day, I'd be editing, and good times.
I'm in your boat now too, because I think we've talked through email. I'm also a nurse, and so I've gone through that process. And I work during the day, and I'm doing the videos during the evenings and the weekends, probably mostly the weekends. Probably at this point, I remember watching the video of you sharpening the blades on the brush hog, and you're like, be a man, do it by hand, use your file.
Yeah, be a man. Learn how to use a file.
Right.
Become a wrench. Be a man.
And that's kind of your style. That's what I was telling people earlier. I find your videos entertaining as well as informative, right? Which is it's like the sweet spot for YouTube, right? That's the value I get out of it anyway. So
yeah, hopefully it is. It's a little bit of entertainment, a little bit of fun, a little bit of funny, and a little bit of a learning lesson.
Yep. So it's taken you 5 years to get where you're at. Did you ever expect you were going to get to over 500,000 people watching you, or at least subscribed, right?
Yeah, I knew if I just kept at it, it would continue to grow, and I would continue to grow and get better at it, and it just took time. So, yeah, I'd like to be further along than I am. It just depends on what is popular on Google a lot of the time. Depends on whether they're pushing your content out or not. So, like right now, I'm down. Gosh, YouTube only put my content in front of. I say this, I guess, kind of as you get bigger, you get put in front of more people.
Right.
And 3 months ago, I got put in front of 45 million people, and this month I only got put in front of 22 million people, which it's funny to complain about, but it chopped my views in half. So
right,
you don't get put in front of enough people. So
I've heard that. I've heard that, in the beginning, you're chasing people to subscribe to your channel, but after that, you're really chasing views, right? That's really kind of how the game works, right? To a certain extent, I think, if you call it a game, I guess.
Well, views are what perpetuates the channel. It's what keeps it going. So if I didn't get any views, I couldn't continue to devote the time to posting the videos,
right?
Because I just couldn't afford to do that in the interest of time and finances. So yeah, it's important that you get views. That's what keeps the channel going. If not for that, it couldn't happen.
Exactly. Yeah, that makes sense. So how about, what are some other channels? I'm going to put it up on the screen here. What are some other channels that you watch that's like outside of your genre or your theme? Or do you at all have time to do it?
Well, I watch Burn Peak a little bit. That's a mountain bike deal, and I haven't taken anybody on the mountain bike ride yet on my primary channel, but I'm starting a secondary mountain bike channel.
Yep, I heard about that. Yep.
So hopefully, so Burn Peak, that's a pretty cool channel. Outside of my genre, I would say that Wrangler Star is a little outside my genre at this point. I mean, he's got some tool stuff, but not farm stuff. So maybe him, but I enjoy what I do, and that's what I watch most of the time. So if I have time to watch.
Exactly. It probably takes most of your time between the farm and doing the videos. And I mean, you're pretty much a one-man shop, right? I mean, I think you've got maybe some people that help edit some of your stuff, I think you said in the past, but otherwise I think it's mostly it's you doing your thing, right? So
yeah, pretty much. Yep. It's busy. There's a lot of work to it for sure.
So how about, what is one thing that your subscribers don't know about you, or the people in my chat right now would know about you?
I wear a size 14 shoe. Maybe they don't know about that.
All right. How many cows do you got right now in the field?
32. Yep.
And you've taken one to market, at least I saw in a video. Has that just been that one or more?
Just one. That's a lot of meat, 800 plus pounds of meat. So yeah. And
so you kept all that? You didn't?
Yep, I've sold some of it to neighbors and friends, and give some to family. So so the freezer was completely packed full, and now it's only half full.
Yeah, I saw the video the other day you were doing. I think it was another live you were doing where you were going around and you showed the fridge, and it was pretty much empty. And then you went out and showed the freezer, and it was pretty much packed full of beef.
Yeah, everybody's like, "Oh, you don't have anything in your refrigerator." I'm like, man, I just lost at least 50 pounds because I wasn't snacking all the time. Yeah, there's nothing in there but condiments and I forget what, beef broth.
You just put that video out. I haven't watched it yet, but I just saw that video go out there, right? So
yeah, it was last Wednesday, I think. So it was the first Stoney Ridge Extra.
And then I was telling people earlier before you showed up that, I told them you visited Minnesota last week. I think you were out doing some stuff for Toro, right? So you're going to have some stuff coming out about that.
Yeah, I am. We stayed at the Mall of America, and
Yep.
that was that's a big mall. Holy
It's very big.
cow! And gosh, we had a good time out there. We got to see some new stuff. There'll be videos probably trickling out on the internet. We got to see stuff before the dealers got to see it. So
That's cool.
yeah, that's really cool.
You were saying that you were kind of I don't know if amazed is the right word, but you were saying how you were maybe amazed at the amount of R&D that goes into making all of the equipment and things that they do, right? The amount of testing and the forethought that goes into it, right?
Yeah, they've got an awesome testing facility to basically test all their machines to make sure they're going to hold up in weather and in the rough and tumble. So it was really cool to see that.
So here's one of my silly questions for you, and that is, do you enjoy being famous?
I don't know if I'm famous. Am I famous? I don't know.
I don't know. Well, hey, I had at least one person in the chat that said they didn't know your channel. So maybe you're not as famous as I think, but
Yeah,
I figure you've got at least 500,000 people that have decided they want to follow you along. It seems like, right? That's got to be a little bit of being famous.
I don't know. Maybe it is. I'm Brad Pitt of the zero turn. So.
I was telling him earlier, I was in Oklahoma at one of the YouTube. I went down there for a YouTube meetup. I've actually got family in Oklahoma, so I went down there to see family, and that YouTube meetup was going on at the same time. And so I met Sean from Keeping It Dutch. I think I told you that through emails.
Mm-hmm.
And I also met Daniel from Arms Family Homestead, and they're both huge channels too. And they kind of told me the same thing. They were like, we're just normal people like everybody else, right? Like just because we have people watching us on YouTube and have a bunch of people following us, that it's not changing who they are, right? So
I don't know.
maybe you don't agree with that answer from them. Okay. That was the story I got anyway.
I don't know. Sometimes, I would say that some channels push extra drama more than they would in real life.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's that's the entertainment side of it, though, right?
Yeah.
But to your point, you're just being real. You're just being you and doing your thing, right? So
that's exactly what I'm doing. So yeah, it's funny, man. I don't know. Reasonably, let's have this discussion.
Okay.
I love Dutch. He's a good dude.
Yep.
Realistically, if he wasn't making videos, if he's just working his regular job, do you think he would have worked so hard building a house to just pack up and move and start all over again? You know what I mean?
I think you brought that up on some other time. I think you and I were in one of your live streams. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, why in the world now? I think that's geared toward. I mean, that's what he's making a living doing. So it's awesome. It's like watching the DIY network, and the guy goes into a new house and rebuilds a bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
So Dutch just is rebuilding his entire life over and over again. That's crazy. I don't know how he can stand that roller coaster.
I get it. Yeah. And the other thing I look at, like some of those channels that have that subscribers, like when they put out videos, they always put out, a kind of a hook in the title, right? To try and get people to click on it to a certain extent, right? Whereas I'm not to that point, because nobody's gonna pick my hook, and nobody's gonna even see my video to hit my hook, right? To click.
Oh, you gotta do that. You gotta do it for sure. Your title's got to be interesting. So it takes a lot of creativity to make the title right. Imagine writing a book and having to think of a title. Imagine writing one book a day and having to think of a new title for every book every day. I mean, it's a lot. Yeah. It's pretty deep.
What's your favorite thing about doing the YouTube?
Meeting new people. I enjoy what I do. I'm eating a cookie too.
All right. What kind of cookie you eating?
I think just meeting new people and people showing their appreciation is pretty nice.
That's one thing that's kind of amazed me about this whole thing. When I said I was going to do this, like I thought I'd be like, yeah, I'll create some videos and I'll put them out there, and it's kind of like, you build the ballpark, the people will come. Didn't turn out to be that at all, really, right? It's more about, like you're saying, it's more about the community and the people that I've met that have kind of made it kind of fun and interesting. It's really not about just making videos and putting them out there, and that's really what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
And I've learned so much more about marketing stuff than I thought I would ever have to learn, right? It's like, how do I market this stuff and get it out there, right? So
Yeah, it's tough. Getting started is, I mean, it took me 7 months to get to 1,000 followers. So getting started, it's some work.
I think it's going to take me a little bit longer to get there. Maybe, I don't know. I'm a year into, or 6 months into it. No, I'm even more than that. I think I'm past the 7-month mark. So you got me beat. I don't know if the YouTube was different back then than it is now or not, though.
I don't know. You probably aren't cranking the videos out like I was. I don't know if you're putting 4 and 5 videos out a week.
Definitely not.
Yeah, that makes a huge difference.
I'm trying to stick. Well, when I started it, because I've got so much other stuff going on, I committed myself that I would do one a week. And so I've been pushing those out every Friday. And because I was doing one a week, and I think I've told the story before on live, that I was going to try and make 2 a week to build up something in the background, right? So that I've got something, if some week I couldn't get a video made, I've got something in my back pocket I can put out there, right? And so as I started doing that, I started building up quite a bit of content behind the scenes. And so then I decided, okay, I can do 2 a week. And so I've been doing that now for several weeks. I've been pushing out 2 a week and then throwing in a short here and there. And like this live is another one that I don't count the live tonight. I already pushed my Friday video. But I kind of wonder how it's going to be when wintertime comes.
I don't know. I mean, you got to get them out there at least 3 a week to grow, I think.
Okay. That's good advice.
Yep. So you won't do it at 2 a week. You definitely won't do it at 1 a week unless you're making some epic, like crazy time lapse or something like that. But yeah, it just takes a lot. 3 to 4 a week, sometimes 5. I did 5 last week.
So why do you say it's more videos leads to more subs? Because it's just more things for people to pick from?
More videos gets more views equals more subs. So the more, it just gets you in the algorithm. YouTube sees you're consistently uploading. They have to see that consistency all the time.
That makes sense. All right.
Yeah. If they don't, woo,
it goes right back down.
Yep.
What's your favorite cut of beef?
I'm liking those short ribs. The short ribs I cooked the other day were delicious.
Yeah.
Yep. And I had a hamburger tonight for supper. So right now, my favorite cut of beef is going to be chicken because I'm so sick of eating beef.
Well, how many chickens do you have in the freezer right now, too? I know you did a bunch of those, right? So
I probably have 30-something chickens in the freezer right now. I'm freeze drying right now. I don't know if you can see this thing in the background.
Yep, we can see it.
I got a Harvest Right freeze dryer. Got all kinds of stuff in there. Been watching it. It's at -4 degrees right now.
Freeze drying. I've never done freeze dry. I've done, like dehydrating for like beef jerky and stuff, but
yeah, freeze drying is pretty interesting. The food maintains its shape, its color, its nutrient content, and it's just totally devoid of water, and it'll keep for 25 years.
So do you freeze dry it then like vacuum pack it?
You freeze dry, but you don't have to vacuum pack it. You just put it in a bag and seal the bag.
So just like beef jerky then?
Yep, pretty much.
Interesting.
Except for it lasts way, way, way longer.
I guess it makes sense if you think about it. Like if dehydrating thing is just taking the moisture content out of it, right? So it'll last a little bit longer because of that, because things won't grow in it, right? But freeze drying, I mean, you're really just like, if you think about things that get frozen, then can last a long time, right? And come back even after being frozen for a long time.
Well, when you freeze dry it, it's frozen, suspended, basically, and all your nutrient content's there. And then the freeze dryer puts it under a vacuum and vacuums the air, vacuums all the liquid out of it.
Okay.
So, in other words, it goes into a total vacuum and just dries, sucks all the moisture out of everything. Pretty cool. This is my first time running it, so I'm running the test before I do the video.
So I got some people in the chat here saying that Lila Newton wants me to say hello to you. I don't know if you caught that on your other live, but she was trying to ask you if she could be a mod for you, I think. But I think she's been one of your followers for quite a while. I don't know if you recognize the name or not. But
oh yeah, definitely.
She's in here tonight. Looks like somebody was saying that the freeze dryers cost quite a bit of money.
Yep. Yeah, that thing was pretty over $2,000. But
is it promotional or is it?
We're working together. They're giving me a affiliate link to it, so
That's cool.
So, yeah.
I wonder if anybody else has got questions here in the chat. We've got 47 people watching this, Josh.
Right on.
For me, that's just, I don't know. That's pretty amazing.
Got a room full.
Yeah, I went and I was telling everybody on the before you came on that I'd been in conversation back and forth through email, and you eventually said you'd be okay coming on one of my lives, or I think actually you suggested it. Actually, I think I should say, and I was like, "That's great," but I've never done a live, and so I was like, "Well, I guess I got to start doing lives first so I can get that under my belt before I get Josh on here and make a fool of myself." So
there you go. Now you're having fun. Lives are fun, man.
Yes, I did the first one last week, and I was even surprised at the amount of people that showed up to that. I mean, I didn't really, other than sticking it on my page, and then 20 of my best friends in here showed up, so it was awesome. So
yeah, they want to check you out, figure out who you are.
Yeah, it was cool stuff. I went and posted this on your Facebook group, and I didn't do it earlier because I know in that group you said like no self promotion, and then you emailed me and you were like, go ahead and post it out there. I'm like, am I going to get in trouble from Josh if I post this out in this Facebook group?
Nah, let her rip. No.
Let's see what other questions I got in here. It's like, what's something I don't think I already asked that one. So, if you could change something about YouTube or social media in general, what would you want to change about it?
I don't know. I don't think it's up to me to change anything. I think of it as they host me with an opportunity to post a video and earn a living at it. So yep. What could I change? I'm pretty flattered by that. So each various platform has its own pluses and minuses, I guess. I'm not on a soapbox about it's censorship. It's not censorship when it's a business. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, it's to me, it's business. They certain things you can't post. So I get it.
Yeah, I think I was talking or not talking, but I heard about one channel that was doing a live, and they were going to clean their device, I'll say, right, on that live. And as soon as that showed up on the live, YouTube like cut the feed, right? Like, I'm sure they got algorithms watching what's being shown, and if they see something they don't like on the feed, then they immediately cut the feed to them, I think is what they said. Their live was shut down, right?
Yeah. Well,
you
like play with fire. That's it.
Right.
You're gonna get burned. So some YouTubers like show animals with guns pointed at their head and a thumbnail. I've seen a lot of that. Hard to believe that doesn't get flagged, but
yeah.
I don't personally. I don't like that. That is, I don't know, disrespectful to the animals, I would say, in my opinion. But yeah, I wouldn't do that. I don't think. Not to
Yeah.
get views. That's I wouldn't dispatch an animal on. I have done that, and I've had the video taken down.
Sure.
Yeah.
Somebody was saying, I heard the other day, I don't know if it's true or not. Somebody was saying that YouTube was kind of being about like just hunting videos in general, especially like if, you know, you saw the takedown of the animal, or if the skinning of the animal, right, or the dressing of it, right, that they didn't want you showing that kind of stuff either, which I could see, right? That's probably the kind of stuff you probably don't want to put out there. Not everybody wants to see the dressing of a deer, right? So it can be,
Yeah,
it
I
can be
think
kind
you
of
can
gruesome.
dress it as long as you're in a teaching environment, not something gross. And I don't think you can show the takedown of the animal. I think the terms of service for YouTube says that you cannot show actual death. So
Okay.
you can show an animal live, like a chicken live, and then the next thing, the chicken's not alive, but you can't show that.
The next thing you're plucking its feathers.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes sense. Yeah, there was what was I thinking of? Because yeah, I plan on, going out hunting this season, so I'll have to be careful about what I film and what I don't film, I guess.
Yeah, give it a shot. I mean, it's early on in your channel, so can't hurt. See how it does.
Right. And that's kind of what I'm doing on my channel anyways. Like I called it Ricky Ventures, and I was even talking about this before you came on too, about I need to come up with a better elevator pitch for sure about what I'm doing. But it's basically just me going out and doing stuff, right? Like I don't have any like specific genre that I'm trying to focus on. And I even researched that a little bit, where people were like, "Oh, you got to have a niche. You got to do that. You got to follow and other people were like, "No, you don't have to have a niche. You can do whatever you want." They just said that it seems like if you're going to do whatever you want, it may take longer for you to grow, right? It's kind of the answer I always seem to get when I was researching it myself.
Yeah, especially if you're a boring person.
You're not calling me boring, are you, Josh?
It could be the opposite. If you're really boring, people would be like, you know what, this guy's so boring. Watch him go.
I'll sit and watch this guy doing anything because he's so boring.
Flipping his toenails on YouTube.
That'd be kind of bad. But so that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm like, I'm doing the stuff up in northern Minnesota on the land up there. I've pretty much become the caretaker of that land over time, and it's really all of it's my in-laws' land. So I would say I married into it, basically, right?
Yeah.
But as time's gone on, I've become the main caretaker of it, right? I'm the one up there taking care of all of it, and it's mostly just hunting. I guess you could say fishing, but I haven't been fishing in 25 years, so could do fishing up there. And planting food plots, and I planted some apple trees this year. I know I harassed you about that earlier in some of your lives during the year. You told me, like, don't do it. Don't plant any fruit trees in the spring.
Yeah. How are they doing, or how'd they do?
They're doing okay. I mean, even with the drought that Minnesota's been in, they've been all right. And that land that I own up there, it's kind of a mix between, lowland, wetland to some open areas to north woods type stuff. So it's pretty wet in general. So they've survived. And what I ended up doing was I ended up taking 5-gallon buckets and drilling some holes in the bottom of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just go fill those 5-gallon buckets up once a week. And just doing that once a week has seemed to kept them doing okay. So
yeah, that'll do it.
As long as I keep the bugs and stuff away from them, I think I'll be all right. They seem to be okay. I can see things eating off the leaves, like, bugs, maybe putting some holes and stuff in them. And I know nothing about apple trees than what I'm learning this year. So,
well, you got to learn by trying.
Right. And it's more about, can I bring in some deer with the apple trees?
Yep. There you go.
So I put fences around them, and I put the fences out far enough that I wouldn't have to worry about continually to move the fences out. So as the tree grows, hopefully they're protected enough, because there's the deers out there, obviously, that would want to eat them, right? When they're young, when the trees are young, I think. And there's also bears and other stuff up there that would probably be more than happy to eat the trees too, I'm thinking.
Yep. Yeah. They got into my apple trees and ate all my apples this year.
The deer did?
Oh yeah. I had one pear. I've been watching that pear for forever. And one day I went out there and it was gone. I was like, oh gosh, got my pear. So
you were saying you don't do too much hunting though as of late, right? Because you probably don't have the time. Maybe, I don't know. I guess you could make the time if you wanted to, but
yeah, I like to hunt. I just it's hard to hunt when your freezer is so full. You know? Like,
that's a good point.
I need to put more meat in there, you know, so yeah, it's hard to hunt when your freezer is that full.
So what's your plan for trying to sell the beef? Or do you not want to talk about that?
I've got some local folks, right, you know, to sell beef too. So it gets gone pretty quick, especially hamburger goes really quick. So I'll probably do a lot more hamburger next time.
How much of the cow do you turn into hamburger versus other cuts of meat?
You get to choose. So, you know, you choose whatever cuts you want and whatever you want made in a hamburger. So whatever steaks you want or whatever, you choose it. And then, so basically by choosing that, if you didn't want the short ribs, they'd just take the meat and make it into burger.
Okay. Yep.
If you didn't want New York strips, then they would just take that and make it into burger. So it's interesting. So you can kind of pick and choose. I'd say that 2/5 of the cow was burger.
And I guess probably the average cow is probably about 400 pounds beef you get out of it, probably.
Maybe.
350.
This cow was huge. This cow was really, really big. So I got 827 pounds of beef out of one cow.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot. That cow weighed about 1,700, 1,600 pounds.
Wow, that's big.
She was big. She was fat. The reason I had to take her to the processor because she kept getting too fat for her feet. Her feet couldn't handle the weight. She was so fat that. So by the end of the summer, when she gotten done eating so much, she'd get so fat she couldn't walk.
So she just lay down? She'd just sit down, huh?
Yeah, she would just lay down. The rest of the cows would be out grazing, and she'd just be sitting there too fat to get up.
Okay. And you said it takes about 2 years to get to the point where you take one to the market, right?
Yeah, about 18 months.
18 months?
Yep.
So you've only done one at this point?
Yep. She was an older cow. She was 8 years old, so she was a little tougher.
Okay.
Than a younger cow that will process a lot tastier.
But you're thinking of getting to the point where you could start rotating them, right? I'm assuming. I don't know. You tell me. Like you're going to get to the point where you can actually get these, take them to market, and then resell that in some form or fashion, right?
I'll probably sell the animals right off the farm. I'll know that they're good animals, and I'll just be able to talk about it on YouTube, put it on my website, and people can make an appointment and come out and buy a cow.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense.
So, yeah, and we may be transitioning over to a different breed of cow here pretty soon, the South Pole cow. So after going out and seeing Greg Judy there in Missouri a couple weeks ago, got me pretty well thinking about those.
Yeah, because you've got, I think right now you've got Black Angus right now is what you have, right?
Yep.
Okay, and I wouldn't know any more about cows than that because the only reason I know that because I've seen it on your videos. So.
Yep, big black cow.
The other thing that it all reminds me of is my dad was a butcher all of his life. Although if you asked him, he would say he was a meat market manager. But so I remember back when I was a kid. Going back, and he worked in grocery stores all of his life, right? You would go back in the grocery store, and it makes me think of like the Rocky Balboa, movies where he's beating up the cow.
Yeah,
and that's how it was back then. You would go back in the back of the meat market, and there was just rows of cows hanging that my dad would be cutting up into different meats, And so you would think I'd know more about it, but I didn't learn any of that from my dad. It's like I was a little kid then, and just being a kid, didn't really think about asking questions.
Yeah, no doubt.
And so now you think about it, he's since retired, but now as he retired, as he went through that process, he told me that, by the time he quit doing it, that you didn't get cows like that anymore in the market. You didn't get full cows that you would cut up in the back area more. It was all processed in other sites, and you would get still larger cuts of pieces of the cow, but they'd be boxed or all caught up, cut up completely. And all he was doing was just, vacuuming, packing stuff that would go out on the shelves at that point. So,
Yep. That's about the way the butcher I went to go pick up my last brisket from. I thought they would have been butchering a cow and get the brisket for me. And no, it came in from Smithfield. Yeah, it just came in from somewhere else, and it had a big C stamped on the bottom of it. And you know what C means?
For choice, right?
Cull.
What's that?
It was a cull.
Oh, okay, it was cull. Yeah, okay.
It had a C because it was a cull.
Okay.
And I didn't even know it until I got home, and I was like, "What? I got a cull piece of meat? I paid $85 for this piece of brisket."
It's not cheap. I mean,
no,
it's gone up, right? I mean,
yeah. I went to Walmart today for the first time. Went shopping today for the first time in forever to buy the bananas and stuff that I've got inside the freeze dryer.
Yep.
Walmart's rough. It's so bad. I haven't been shopping in a long time. It's like, get me out of here. And I had a mask on, and some guy not wearing a mask is giving me this dirty look because I'm wearing a mask. I'm like, I don't know what's going on up at Walmart, man. I'm not trying to bring any of that home. I don't care. I didn't wear a mask in Lowe's, like in the plumbing department, but I did in Walmart.
Okay.
That's a rule. I think we should have been required to wear masks way before COVID in Walmart. Like mask and rubber gloves.
It reminds me of like those things you see of like the people of Walmart and some of the photos you see in those things.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. I pick on a buddy of mine. I told him he's been dating a lot of girls that work at Walmart. And I told him, you've been working your way through the Walmart Women of Walmart calendar, aren't you, buddy?
Women of Walmart calendar.
Yeah.
All right. So I got a few more, I guess, more funny questions here for you. And these would be quick and easy stuff. This is kind of like a this or that. And so the first one, and the people in the chat can also play along here too. Although it's hard for me to see the chat at the same as I'm throwing the questions up here. So the first one is wine or beer?
Oh, beer.
How about attend a party or host a party?
Attend, so I can leave.
So you can leave when you want to. Fiction or nonfiction?
Oh, nonfiction.
Reality shows or documentaries?
Documentary, definitely.
How about red wine or white wine?
Oh, red wine.
Red wine, okay.
White wine mess.
Salad or sandwich?
Sandwich for sure.
And dogs or cats?
Ooh, that's a toughie right there. Got them for different reasons.
Yep.
My dog is on the front porch, and my cat has nipple anxiety and is sucking on my dog's nipple.
What does that?
So I think that puts those two at a dead heat. Literally.
What does that even mean?
There's a male cat and a male dog, and the cat has I don't know if you've ever had a cat that had they like to suck. And
like in your fingers. Yeah, I have.
So this cat, when I was growing up, I had a cat that I'd wake up and they'd have a hold of my earlobe and be sucking on it. So this cat is sucking on my male dog's nipples. That's his thing. And the dog just puts his paw right on top of the cat while the cat's sucking on his nipple. It's so weird.
Maybe it's a symbiotic relationship. Maybe they're both enjoying it.
I don't think nobody's getting any milk out of the deal. I don't know. So yeah. I think animals complement one another, I guess. So I'd have to say I can't choose between dogs and cats. If I had to get, I don't know. I can't choose. I believe if I had to get rid of all the cats or all the dogs, I'd probably keep the dogs.
But the cats keep the rodents away, right? So
Yeah. Yeah. So I'd have to replace the cats with
hawks or something, right?
mouse.
Owls.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. So how about arrive early or arrive late?
I'm always late.
Okay.
Always.
Even to Ricky Venture's live stream.
You can tell in the live stream. Yeah. Always late.
Food trucks or restaurant?
I like a nice restaurant. I like a really nice restaurant. That's something that's different about me that most people probably wouldn't know. I like dress up like Garth Brooks and go into a really nice restaurant. So I don't mind when I do go out to eat. I want to be treated well, so I don't mind spending $200 on dinner because I only go out to eat 3 or 4 times a year anyway, maybe 2.
So do people confuse you with Garth Brooks? Has that happened?
No, but I like wearing the jeans and the
nice, and the
cowboy
coat
shirt and the jacket. That's kind of fun.
All right. Dine in or delivery? I think it kind of goes to the same thing you were just talking about, maybe. But
yeah, if I had for like Moe's or Subway or
Chinese food.
Chinese food, all that is delivery.
For sure.
Yeah, or Baskin Robbins. Now there's a question: do you have to eat your ice cream in the Baskin Robbins parking lot or in the store? Cold Stone?
Not in Minnesota.
No,
you don't have to in Minnesota because you can go outside and it's not going to melt.
Oh, there you go. That's funny. So yeah, North Carolina, Baskin Robbins is a definite stay in, but Cold Stone is a leave. You know, you always go through Cold Stone and you just feel like you're shuffled out the door.
And the store's different too, right? The store's like much smaller, so it's almost like you need to leave so the next person can show up, right?
Yeah. Cold Stone's just a shelf on a wall with ice cream behind it. Where 31 Flavors is a real ice cream shop.
Which one do you like better?
Oh, I take 31 Flavor, all day. Baskin Robbins all day over Cold Stone. Cold Stone's, I don't know.
I don't think I've been to a Cold Stone in a long way. I've got a Baskin Robbins down the street. It's a Baskin Robbins and Dunkin' Donuts together. So it's like,
ooh, yeah,
2-for-1 deal, right? Like you should get a donut with ice cream on it.
Hot donut with a scoop of vanilla ice cream on it. Oh, I'm so hungry. Yeah. This diet is not working. I just ate half this bag of cookies right here.
Well, I don't know if you were necessarily doing a diet, right? I think you just took the weight off, right? So
yeah, I started eating better, just easing off on the carbs. I'm a big in the nighttime. I want to shut it down, shut the brain down, sit down.
Yep.
I've got some comedy you can see in the window behind me, the reflection of the TV. I got a stand-up comedy thing going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like to wind down.
Yeah, and losing 50 pounds, like you said, that's an accomplishment. Actually, I mean, it's not easy to do. I mean, and when you think about when they put weight on, right? Like you add the weight on slowly. You don't just gain 50 pounds overnight, right? It gradually gets on you.
Yep.
If you're not paying attention. And so, people will gain 50 pounds in a year. And so it could take you a year to take that 50 pounds back off, right? I mean, it's.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And people were letting me know, hey, you too fat. Hey, you look unhealthy. What's going on? You're too fat right now. Just want to let you know. Or your belly was overlapping your kneecap, And then now they say, oh, you're getting too skinny. Like, no, I'm just getting back to normal, man.
Back to what
Yeah, back to normal. Trust me, I'm not skinny. I'm in front of the mirror with the belly out. I'm not skinny.
Yeah, I could probably stand to use a few pounds myself. So I was super skinny when I was a kid, and it just kind of gradually ends up adding on to you, I guess. I don't know.
I'm the same size as I was when I signed up for the Air Force when I was 18 years old. I've not changed. Yeah, not changed much since then, really.
And thanks for your service too. So
yeah, it was fun.
How long were you in the Air Force? For you do a 4-year tour, or?
Yeah, I just did my 4 years,
okay.
A little over 4 years, because I got deployed to Saudi Arabia. my last 2 months in, but I volunteered for it. I wanted to go. I wanted to go over to the desert and see what it was all about. So,
All right.
yeah, that was fun.
I'm sure it was an experience, I bet. So
It was. It was a good time. A little bit of machine gun fire, but nothing bad. So,
my father-in-law, who I inherited all this land from, he passed away earlier this year. And that's why I'm the caretaker of this land now. But he was in the Marines and over in Vietnam. And he used to tell me some of the stories over there. Like, I just think that's just crazy. He's like,
yeah.
He told me one time he was running ammunition to a machine gun nest back and forth, like bringing the boxes to them and then going back and getting more as they were using it up. And he says he remembers running through a rice paddy, carrying ammunition about up to the nest and dropping it down. And the two guys running the gun are looking at him, just white-faced, he said. And he's like, what? I brought the ammo, right? And they're like, the whole time you were going across that rice paddy thing, they were just pounding it, right? With water splashing everywhere. And they're like, I don't know how you made it over here with the ammo. And so I hear stories like that, and I'm like, that's just craziness, right? I mean, that's nothing I probably will ever have to experience, I hope. But it's like, that's scary stuff.
Yep. Daggone right.
All right. So some more questions, some more crazy ones here. So how about eggs or pancakes? And I'll let you go after this here in a few minutes.
I would say eggs. Pancakes have their place, though, depending on if I can get that good maple syrup.
All right. Board games or video games?
Neither. Poker.
Poker. There we go. That's a board game.
Yeah,
I'll let you go. I won't ask you more questions, any more silly questions. I guess the last one I should ask is dragons or unicorns?
I'm a unicorn man.
There you go. That's what the saying is, right? Always be yourself. Unless you can be a unicorn, then always be a unicorn.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm going to give away some of your merch. I won't make you stick around for it. I'm going to pick some people here, and I'm going to give away one of your shirts and one of your hats, if that's okay with you.
Yeah. Just let me know.
Yeah, I'll contact you with some information afterwards. So I'll see who we pick over here.
Sweet.
It was super nice meeting you on the live. I really appreciate it. I know you didn't have to go out of your way to come and be on here, so I really thank you for that.
No biggie, man. Sorry I was late to the show, but I made it. Woohoo!
That's all right. Thanks for coming on. We'll talk to you later.
Take care.
All right.
Bye.
All right, everybody. That was the Stoney Ridge Farmer. I apologize. I've been ignoring your chat here, but I wanted to get as much time with Stoney Ridge as I could. I hope you guys enjoyed that.